Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It's so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So I have popped on today to give you an update on what I have managed to get done on the fairy dust cowl. Now, I have not been participating in this as the cowl, but I have got each and every part and I am just working on it as and when I get time. Now, the fairy dust cowl is a mosaic blanket pattern. It is by the wonderful designer Rosina Plain. I will put a link to that pattern down in the description box. Now, it is a paid for pattern, so only get it if you are able to. I am not trying to enable you. I am just giving you all of the information. But I fell in love with this gorgeous blanket and I just knew that I had to make it. And as part of my 24 goals for 2024, I did want to revisit mosaic this year. So that is what I am doing now. The pattern came in 8 parts. This is what it looks like here. It's an overlay mosaic, and she actually teamed up with Stylecraft, I believe, and she made 4 different colorways. So those are the colorways there. But I did not buy a colorway pack. I am using yarn from my stash because I have lots of gorgeous yarns. Now, I will see if I can point out the bits and pieces. So at the bottom, we have some fallen leaves and some mushroom houses. We have some gorgeous flowers, the beautiful fairies themselves, some more flowers, the butterflies, and then at the top there are some magic wands as well. Now, she does do an envelope border as well that has some patterning in it, and I do intend on doing the envelope border. It means that I'm not going to have to weave in a gajillion ends, and it means that they will just be sandwiched between the front border and the back border, and all the ends are going to be sandwiched in between and be nice and squishy. So, like I said, the pattern was broken into 8 parts. I did not participate along with everyone else in the cowl, but you only have to type in fairy dust cowl on most social medias and search engines and you get a lot of gorgeous things to look at. The variations that people have chosen to make their blankets in is just stunning, and I love the fact that our beautiful craft of crochet, you really can personalize it to your own tastes. Now, I am making mine for a work colleague of mine. I think this is right up her alley, and I may even be tempted to make more in the future for other people as well. It is just so gorgeous, and I love the kind of fairy tale woodland aesthetic to it as well. Now, I have shown this a couple of times. I will put the videos for this that I have already made down below. I think I've got it in a playlist. If not, I will get it in a playlist for you so that you have the videos there from the minute I started until it is eventually completed. Now, I don't have any time limit on this one. I am just picking it up when I've got the time to do so and adding as much to it as I can when I have those moments. Excuse me. So, when I held up the pattern there, you saw that some people just started straight away with the fallen leaves and the mushroom houses, but contained within the pattern, you get a bonus chart for a gauge swatch, and it is just gorgeous little sparkles. And I decided that I was going to make this blanket a little bit bigger and a little bit longer by adding a strip of sparkles on the bottom, and I will of course put some sparkles along the top. So I am going to show it to you folded in half, but then I will show you the full piece as well. So let me just get it ready. Okay, so the sparkles at the bottom look a little bit like this. And for those gorgeous little sparkles, in fact, for all of the blanket, I am using up Stash White. As you can see, I still have quite a bit of this monster white skein. But for the colours, I am using various colours of this gorgeousness up here, which is Yarn Smith's Pebble Haze Prince DK. The sparkles were actually made from this colorway here. This is shade 2D030. They do have names and I got them from the Wool Warehouse. Wool Warehouse do deliver worldwide, so maybe check it out if you are interested. But there are some pretty, in my opinion, woodland themed colours for the sparkles there, and I will go back and put some more of this in for the top layer of sparkles as well. And then I decided for the fallen leaves and the mushroom houses that I was going to use this colour of the same yarn. Like I said, it is the Yarn Smith Pebble Haze Prince. Now this is 150 grams or 5.25 ounces, 435 meters or 476 yards. It is 67% cotton and 33% acrylic. You can cool wash up to 30 degrees. You can cool tumble dry and cool iron, so it is quite easy care. It says do not bleach. You can dry clean using P, and they recommend a 4mm knitting needle and a 4mm hook. Now this orangey one, this gorgeous autumnal colorway in my opinion, is shade 2D070, and as you can see, I have used quite a bit out of this one because the fallen leaves and the mushroom houses take quite a bit more because it's a bigger segment of the pattern. But just look at those gorgeous colours in there. Now it is either a chain spun or a blown yarn. I'm still not 100% familiar with which they are, but it is so light and airy and gorgeous. Now there is a tiny bit of halo, so it means frogging can be a tiny bit tricky, but not too bad. It is manageable in my opinion, and it is a DK lightweight 3. Like I said, I'm just pairing it with Stash White. This is again a lightweight 3 DK, and I'm going to use all of this ball until it runs out, and then I have more white that I can use once the big ball has been used up. So then the next part was, oh, we're all caught up, hang on. The next part is the fallen leaves, and I have already shown you this part because here is the stitch marker that I got up to last time. So you can see those beautiful oranges, slightly yellowy goldies, and some darker oranges like burnt orange almost to a slightly red are playing out in the fallen leaves. So that was where we got to last time. So I have been working super hard on this, and the fallen leaves and the mushroom houses are technically part 1 of the cowl, and I can happily report that I have now finished part 1. Look at that! Isn't it gorgeous? You can see the little mushrooms, you can see the houses, you can see the door and the windows. It is just gorgeous. I've got one of the tails there. There we go. So yes, like I'm saying, when I get to the end of my project, all of these tails here on the side will be trimmed up and sandwiched between a double border. But that is what the fairy dust is looking like so far. As you can see, that blue stitch marker is where I was last time. So I have done quite a bit in this one. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm going to open it out fully because there are in fact 4 mushroom houses in total. But there we go. Isn't it so fun? Isn't it pretty? And then the beauty of mosaic as well is that you get a really neat striping on the back. So there aren't any yarn carryovers or loose loops to get fingers or toes caught in, which is fabulous. And you can kind of see the pattern on the reverse as well. I am loving it. Loving it, loving it. I wish I could just do this one until it's done, but I have so many whips, guys. So that is my fairy dust. So I can move my stitch marker up and I can think about doing the next part. Now the next part is a band of gorgeous flowers, which if I get my pattern, I can show you here. We are going to be doing the daisy chain. The beauty of Rosina patterns is she does right-handed and left-handed, and you get written instructions as well as charts. So I am going to be doing part 2 when I can next get around to picking it up, which will be these gorgeous little daisy chains. And I have picked the next colour. It is again the same yarn, guys. The Yarn Smith's Pebble Haze Prince DK, but I've gone for a more earthy, greeny, slightly browner tones to be the background of those daisy chains, just to get a bit of nature in there. So that is the next cake that I am going to be diving into as well. So I will come back when I get that on. Now it does recommend a 4mm, but I am in fact using a 4.5mm dots because I do crochet really tightly. I could have gone up again, I think, to a 5 because it is quite a firm fabric. It's still, you know, squishy enough. But if I had gone up to a 5, it may have just been a little bit more drapey. But it's not too bad. It's not too stiff. It's okay. So yes, like I said, could have gone up to a 5, but I'm happy with the 4.5. And I am so happy with how it is turning out. So if you can try and imagine those gorgeous daisy chains in a more green-based colourway, greens and browns. So there we have it. There is the update on that one. Now, the person who I'm gifting it to, she doesn't know what I am actually making, but she does know I am making something for her. But I have told her that it's going to take a little while because we all know blankets can take a while. Now, if I was just focusing on this one, probably would have been done already because I am loving it. I really do enjoy mosaic crochet. Now, if you have never tried it, I really do recommending it because as long as you can do a single crochet, a chain and a double crochet, you really are good to go. That's US terminology. I know I'm from the UK, but I do prefer the US terminology. I can use both, but US is my preferred. And again, Rosina kind of does the translations for you. And in fact, she has gone with generic labels for her stitches, so it doesn't matter whether you prefer UK or US. She has her own kind of references for the stitches, which is even more handy. It means it's more inclusive. But honestly, guys, if you can do a single, a chain and a double, you can do mosaics. I promise you. They look really intimidating. They look really complex, but they are literally easy peasy. And I prefer overlay, which is what this one is, but there is inset mosaic as well. I can do it, but I just prefer the overlay mosaic. And I really would recommend that you give it a go. Go on, be brave, jump in. Honestly, it's a lot of fun because the way that it's done is you only go into the back loops. So there is always that front loop that you can reach down from the row above and hook into that one to bring the pattern to the front of the blanket. It's really no more tricky than that. It is gorgeous. I love it. Like I said, I will put a link to that pattern in the description box. It is a paid for pattern, but in my opinion, it is worth every single penny because it is gorgeous. And I myself would not be able to design something as lovely. So I am willing to pay for that privilege. I just love this. This is a very joyful project for Manfa. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking your ears off. I hope you enjoyed looking at my progress on that one. I will, of course, be back when there is more progress to show. I'm aiming for about once a month. Fingers crossed life doesn't get in the way. And like I said, I'm just taking my time. There's no pressure to this. And I am loving every single stitch. So please do come back tomorrow for another episode of Max's Gut Choice. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one or around the YouTube streets. Bye, guys. Love you loads.